Hey guys, I'm back. You have a knack for turning up exactly when needed, and this is no exception. Yomi? Impeccable timing, as always. How long was I gone? I had you were often the first as part of our efforts to investigate the final days. While as so often seems to be the case while you were away, we've had some few developments, which we can discuss in just a moment. For now, however, I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to have you back. So have you learned aught more of the final days? Oh yes. Oh yes, I have. Then the journey was well worth the risk. No doubt your newfound knowledge will be a great boon to us all. Unfortunately, during your time on the First, events here have taken a turn for the worse. The Science are running themselves ragged trying to contain the spread of blasphemies, but it's a losing battle. To try and ascertain the where and why of it, Alisaie and Alphino have been traveling all over. Of all the regions they visited, Logos Amuenos is one of the worst affected. Thancred, Astinian and Graha took a detachment of allied soldiers there to offer aid and succor to those in need. But the province is vast. They only managed to visit a handful of coastal villages. It was an accomplishment worth celebrating still, but a drop in the bucket at best. In the meantime, Y'shtola and Master Matoya have been making a concerted effort to establish contact with Hydaelyn in the Ethereal Sea, but to no avail. Don't worry, I kinda talked to her. As for Tataru and I, we have been keeping a close eye on the forum. From what we gather, they have been constructing a vessel to ferry people to the moon, an ambitious project that has likely been years, if not decades, in the making. However, since we've seen no sign of it thus far, I suspect it's still incomplete. You will also recall the proposal issued by Master Fourchenon to the people of Ratzatan. Following the discussion, Vertra declared his support for the plan and urged those who wish to evacuate to accept the forum's invitation. So far so good, but that's where things get a little strange. Apparently, the forum caught wind of the lunar teleporter in the Tower of Babel and decided to use it to deliver people to the moon instead of their mysterious ship. Therefore, to secure safe passage for the Hanesh refugees to the tower, Alphino, Alisaie, Astinian and Graha traveled to Garlemald not long ago. Trouble is, the capital was hardly the safest place to begin with, and now... the final days have come to Garlemald. Yay! Shortly after our friends arrived, they were sent to rendezvous with Master Fourchenon. Then panic broke out and our communications were severed. From what fragments we were able to make out before the link shell went completely silent, we can only assume the phenomenon has spread to the capital. The others need you, Yomi. Please, you must help them. What about Meteon? You gonna tell them? Having you there will make all the difference, I'm sure of it. Camp Broken Glass was the first port of call, so we'd best start there. Hopefully Lucia will know where they are. There's no telling what we'll be walking into, so you had best take every possible precaution. Da 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 da! Very fitting to current theme. Earlier on the Magna Glacies. Hi there. Hi there.
No. 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 We were promised an escape. Not the same moon we fled.
I shall not meet my final days here in this blasted waste. Calm yourselves. Your panic is our greatest enemy.
Well, at least he knows that.
Come, we must build a line of defense.
Who are you talking to? Alphino? Sure.
How?
Leave the fighting to us, Father. You must lead the people to safety.
You might want to be more efficient with the energy of yours. Less spectacle, more efficient killing. Because there's a lot more to come.
I can handle this pair. You?
Shall tend to the refugees. Let us be about it.
As you wish, my little lord.
Yeah. So what skills do we have? Holy crap.
I'll command the beast's attention. See to the wounded. Leave it to me.
Oh, that's actually okay. So what now? Yeah, perfect.
Those who can stand, come with me.
Easy now. Deep breaths. You're safe now.
For the moment.
Worry not for the refugees, but for yourself, boy.
I provide support. Yay, I can heal. Oops. Tentacle whip. Reminds me of my old healer days, with just with less stuff to, with less, with less of a kit to actually handle stuff with. Stop whacking Estinian.
What?
What? There are others who need help? Oh, surprised Pikachu.
Don't. I don't want to die.
Pew!
Forward! Let not a single fiend escape!
Hey, you lose.
Wait, that's... Euless and the army. So, you've recovered then? In time enough to be of aid, for once. We can speak of it more later. For now, we must fight! To repay your salvation in kind, or with better! For Garlemald has her pride! Of that I've no doubt.
Good gods. Of all possible saviors, the Imperial Army.
Yeah?
Oh,
That's your daughter.
I had hoped to take all of them down at once.
Cannot have it all.
Withdrawal might be in order.
Oh, sod that. You know who would never abandon these people to their fate.
You talking about me?
To be devoured by their former friends. That'd be beyond cruel. These beasts must fall here and now.
Well then, I'd say it's high time we threw caution to the winds.
So long as you spare me the heroic sacrifices. Now, let's go!
Yeah. Don't give me 7 skills like with Alpino, please. It is 7, yay. Okay, but it's not as complicated. Alright. Yay, AoE. Give me 7 buttons, I need to press one of them. Save me! Okay, we save you.
I'm fine.
No jump back? Okay. Oh wait, the beginning again. Ouch! 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 Don't need it.
not today.
Some red mage action. Fortunately, I have played red mage before. When will we be able to use the limit break? Because it's already waiting there, I can see it.
None to worry about.
crackles with energy. Find cover!
As they say, turnabout spare.
Finally.
On guard.
Kaboom. Blind everyone. Oh, that's a different one. Hey, she got her own. Cool, she got her own limit break. Problem with these fights.
Trace of ether. Maybe there really is no way to bring them back.
Problem with those fights is always that my primary action bar is on my right screen, so I always have to look to the far right corner, bottom corner of my screens over there to see, you know, cooldowns and stuff. Which makes me a little occupied during the fight.
Thank you for saving our lives once again.
Because I don't have all of my cooldowns and stuff in the center as I usually have.
I remember you from Purusha. You helped
Purusha.
us there too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Ah, you're from Palaka's stand. I'm glad you're still in one piece.
Your
Poor
friend
you
doesn't
will
seem
be
so, though.
Once I see to that injury of yours.
Look out!
Charge! Ouch. Almost a third. So, where are we? Why are we still not there? Hey, that was my job in the job description in the trailer.
I won't lose them. Not a one. This will be a brighter future. I won't let a madman's apocalypse ruin everything we've fought to achieve.
I do actually wonder how his timeline continued, right? Because in his timeline...
Get it together, Alize. You're embarrassing yourself. And in front of father, no less.
Because in his timeline, the Asians are still alive,
Never
right?
measure up to our champion.
And they can still further rejoin Zodiark. So
But
no
we
final
ask
days
too
there.
much of her as it is. You mustn't let Eorzea's hero fight alone.
But I'm already here. Don't worry. Does look like an upgrade to what I was wearing at level 80, I must admit. This is precisely why you should never skip your squat regimen. Aww.
I can look after myself, you know.
Didn't seem like it.
Everything's in order, I trust.
See, that's what I don't get from the cuts. That's why the cutscene we had before that one with Venat and the final days in Amarot is so confusing to me because she was all alone.
Come on!
Which we know she hasn't been in our past. Because we were there and the others who summoned the Hydaelyn, right? But I would say now that's the big difference between us and Venat, right? We don't stand alone.
Rio for the ages.
If that's of worth. Oh, we've gotten the upgrade to our circle, arcane circle. Nice. Whoa! How much soul gauge? How much shroud gauge did that just give?
Just the beginning.
50! Holy crap. Okay, so that's how you get the... Okay, so that's how you get your Enshroud into the opener of the other classes. I was wondering that.
I had a feeling I'd find you here. This should be the last of the worst troublemakers. With me!
Oh, okay, the one tree of them grows and the other shrinks. Okay, I get it.
On your feet.
Okay, with the upgrade to Arcane Circle, this makes a lot more fun, to be honest. Now I only should not forget about Death's Design, I guess.
I'm in your debt.
Where were we?
There you go. Kinda changed a lot to have an Enshroud phase after each Arcane Circle. Or at the end. I think it ends Arcane Circle, right? I'm not entirely sure. I don't even remember what the skill
We must
exactly was
board
called.
without delay. The ship will depart ere long.
Your offer to host us in Sharlayan is most appreciated. But will the final days not soon fall upon it as well?
Your hesitation is not unwarranted. The satrap entrusted me with your lives, yet I have failed your comrades. Nor are you wrong to fear that this corruption will continue to spread. I cannot promise you complete safety, even in my homeland. What I can promise is that I will do all in my power to protect you. That power is not inconsiderable. Even now, my countrymen are preparing the vessel that will deliver us to a sanctuary on the moon. Join us on our journey there, and beyond, to new horizons. Come to old Sharlayan. Please.
You go to fight wherever you go. Then as well stay and fight here. Or at home.
We would be fools to refuse such a generous offer made in earnest.
Guess they see it a little differently. Actually, where's Hydaelyn and Yugiri? I think they're the only ones we haven't seen in this expansion, right? All expansion long.
The people of Radzat-Han have known too much suffering. The march to Garlemald will only bring them more, short though it may be.
I quite agree. Fortunately, they have you to look after them.
Need to go to bed.
Yes.
Behind you! Just there!
Same as always. Slap, slap, slap. I just wanna lick you all over your face. Why are you running away? I'm sure it's gonna be fun. That's me. No, that wasn't me, it was Sinus. Oh, why hello there. I was wondering when you would show up.
Xenos! Here! You'll be alright. Hurry to the airship. Why have you come?
Good question.
A heretofore unseen beast. 'Twas ripe for the slaying. Poor sport, alas. Unfit to temper my blade.
Oh, for the love of... You cannot still be on about a rematch.
That is, and has ever been, my sole concern. You, on the other hand, are fixated on a different quarry.
Oh, are you telling me you're gonna help us resolve our query so that I have my mind free for a rematch? I would appreciate that.
Your passion pales before mine. Yet neither hate nor despair seems sufficient to recapture your misdirected bloodlust.
Told you he was gonna help us at some point.
I hold my blade, and I wait.
That's it. That's all you care about. Garlemald is in ruins. Our homeland, the nation you rule, is as good as gone. Along with so many of its people, not just soldiers like us, not only those who fought and killed for power and duty, innocent civilians. Murdered by their own flesh and blood, lost and confused as they breathed their last. While we who survived with our lives and minds intact were left to freeze to death. The Eorzeans tell me all this was your doing! You slaughtered your countrymen! You did! For what?
For nothing, in the end. So much wasted effort.
You.
You bastard!
For your own sake, Eulus, you must control your anger. It will serve no one should it consume you and see you transformed.
What role has he still to play? I don't get it.
Would you be happier had I a good reason?
What?
If my motives met with your approval, would you no longer resent the outcome? If so, then perhaps a beast's skin would suit you better. Duty, honor, morality. All constructs of convenience when put to proof. Surely the war taught you how easily power becomes the tool of the self-righteous. How the people's justice was merely a means to their ends. Yet you would ask me why. Ask any creature of this star and those above for answers, and they will tell you what suits their fancy. And they would be right to do so. What meaning there is to be found in the petty vicissitudes of your existence must be gleaned by you, and you alone.
That's what I like about him. He doesn't
Should you
care.
seek
He knows.
battle in the fruitless pursuit of my demise, then come. Assume your rightful place as a notch on my blade.
He knows fully well how simple his cravings are, but he doesn't care. Because he accepts that this is what he's craving for. He's basically the exact opposite of Hermes. Not knowing what he actually wants and searching for the greater truth and everything. While he has his answers, seen us. It's just so simple. You yourself give your life the meaning. You yourself decide what the meaning of your life is. And it might be something such simple as to eat the best pizza in the world. I don't know. That's not really my meaning, no. But you know, doesn't matter as long as you believe, as long as it satisfies yourself, right?
You are a blight on the Garlean race, and there would be no more satisfying way to expunge it than by beating you to death. But I will not be party to another tragedy. I refuse to lose anyone else because of you. So go. Go! And may we never suffer your madness again!
Xenos! Perhaps you found meaning in living this way. I cannot deny you found strength. Yet if you only pursue your hedonistic pleasures and pay no heed to the plight of others, then no one will give you the time of day.
That's actually true. Why would I care about giving you what you want when you're just ignorant to everything? Choicefully
You
so.
will never get what you want. Not even the battle you pine for so dearly. You'll be alone for an eternity, and you'll deserve every agonizing second of it.
We're ready to depart. The refugee ships will be leaving shortly, but I've asked mine to remain for the time being. There's room enough for you to join me on it, if you wish. Do contain your surprise. I needn't agree with the Scion's methods or intentions to acknowledge that their deeds are deserving of gratitude.
We appreciate the offer. But might I ask why you are delaying your departure? I presume it is not solely for our benefit.
I must visit Garlemald ere we return to Sharlayan. Having caused such an uproar, it is only meet that I explain myself to the Ilzabard contingent.
What are we nodding about?
We should be glad to facilitate, given our familiarity with all concerned. If you would like to join as well, Eulus, we can speak of recent events on the way.
He'll be after your seat on the forum next.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Fortuno Leveilleur. And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
What about me? What about my story? You know, the one where we can actually stop the final days because I know where we need to go and who we need to kill.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions. Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
Standing up against Xenos is pretty proof of courage, to be honest.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Fortuno. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Sharlayan alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you know you're talking to bunny boys and girls
Do you
on the
swear
moon?
to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
I swear.
Any other I would doubt, but you I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks.
Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait.
Yeah, oh boy, have I stories to tell.
Did you hear something just now?
What happened on the moon? Was it Pudding Way?
Where is this star's blasted pudding?
So, did Urianger persuade you to actually come down?
Dawn may banish even the darkest night, and to this bitter clime bring warmth and comfort.
He's taken over
'Tis
with his army.
heartening to see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Then allow me to summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Aetheris. Urianger made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvellous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to be found. I must suffer Urianger's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? Ahem. As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Hydaelyn's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Urianger made us realize that we carried out our duties to the letter, we failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
How can they help? Building the airship?
Forgive me, but are they...
Yes, exactly.
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Hail, fellow! Well met! You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last. I'm Livingway, Hydaelyn's right paw! That last bit is very important, as am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Sharlayan, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperids made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable. 'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
Yeah, I guess it's better than you being up there, to be honest. Good to have you back.
For a time, at least. Nevertheless, 'twas worth the journey to find present company well. Wilt thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
Sure. Let's go. To bed. Do that tomorrow.
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Well, once you
I
stop
dare say you'll
moving.
warm up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
Once you stop moving, I guess it's gonna get cold pretty fast in your limbs. Not that I'm complaining, Urianger, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Noraidi, in extolling the virtues of Aetherius, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loperids a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kryl tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. Yes. I have news to share regarding our study of the Ethereal Sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. So what revelations did Hydaelyn's Elpis flower lead? Okay, so I went back in time and met Emmet Selk and Fandaniel and others, and we need to kill Meteon. Or prove that we want to live. Something like that. And nobody seems to be surprised. Then this dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akashar are one and the same, this all but proves Nidana's theory. Were an entity through sheer force of emotion to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river, its power might surpass even that of ether. But if a star is so replete with ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamics of the Great Expanse. Yeah, we know that. We've seen Meteion fly away. Literally, and she literally said she's gonna build a nest next to the end of the universe. Meteion? Or rather the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Hydaelyn. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteion. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Meteion and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteion escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Venard, the woman who would become Hydaelyn. The implication of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Hydaelyn and the Venard you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Hydaelyn possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Hydaelyn, not to stay. Or maybe she just built the moon ship to go after Meteion. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteion? The Venard I know would never give up. That's my impression too. Otherwise she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. Yeah, exactly. Do we want to flee, or do we want to stay and fight? So what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteion. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Then communing with Hydaelyn must be necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of Arenwald and other echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Hydaelyn, even from within the Antitower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Hydaelyn. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus from us observing the Ethereal Sea, built closer to home. Sorry to interrupt, we've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Yeah, it's gonna be the big questions. Do you want to flee, or do you want to use a means to flee to bring the fight to our enemy? Then Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. Especially with the peaceful music in the beginning.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are
Sure.
here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
To use the spaceship to get to Meteion?
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn at their request on the Great Exodus. You may enter.
Yay! Hi, we are the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glaciers. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well.
Yes, of course. That's because we ought to be praised.
As an expression
Nothing wrong there.
of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin.
Yes, please. We have limited time.
First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
Yes.
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenor and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat-Han was foremost among these. But since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
Even earlier?
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
So only your allies will be allowed to step on the ship.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
What about your spaceship?
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
Come on, you have the Labyrinthos for this now.
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient.
The ether burner, the
Cargo
afterburner.
is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus. We are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem?
I beg your pardon.
We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
Probably Venat herself. We saw her on the ship, right?
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your ark.
Yeah. Fly to the edge of the universe! Why use the ark and not the moon, though?
At liberty to refuse this proposal?
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
I thought it was 100. Was it 99? Okay.
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself.
Yeah, but we have, you know, we have some very, very skilled engineers at hand.
Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Order! Order! We have
Order.
no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms?
I would be like, how do they intend to fix problem? We failed to do so for the last I don't know how many years. In like days.
"71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it.
I'm still very impressed by
Fortunate,
his...
as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
I'm still very impressed by his ability to count, you know, all of the votes that are behind him and that he cannot see.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Well, they kinda did wait, you know, as long as Zodiark lived. Okay.
Could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows. Think, Coco, think! We be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse.
For better or worse.
Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
With you know, engineering expertise.
Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding.
Maybe you should just get Sid over here. Actually, where is Sid? We haven't seen him all expansion long.
Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient.
Really, 6%? Wow. That's humongous.
A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
If you knew what you were doing wrong.
Hast thou consulted with the Labyrinthos?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer.
Alright. I chose you! Sit!
The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Of course it does.
Only
Come
in the
on,
most
Stoller.
general terms, I'm afraid.
Damn it.
'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Oi, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency will be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Valid question.
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with.
What about Omega? Nah, probably it's dangerous.
From Ragnarok class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up.
Coils?
It's
Are we
rough
going into
going in
coils?
there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Yeah, exactly. Fortunately, we do have our expertise in fighting. You want me to go and fetch the what's-its?
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
Not exactly sure if I've actually done coils with this character, probably not.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, If we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours.
The floor is yours. Stage is set. The curtain's rising.
What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us Heavensward. This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
You know, that's the big thing with the Scions. We have friends everywhere.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-foot expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Somewhere in the first?
Such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether.
I guess we couldn't get it over from the first to here. Also, Alec wasn't really a thing in the first, right? So, what about the Aziz's Law?
Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists or enthusiasts.
Or in Aziz's Law, which has been, you know, unavailable for all of these types of scavengers.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all.
Hey, Serena.
Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad.
As I said, that's our boon.
Anyway, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking. And I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
Why grog? Ugh. Because he's a pirate, isn't he?
Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
Meanwhile, in Ul'dah.
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames, and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and brass blades for support as you must.
Is that her usual voice? Sounds a little alien to me.
Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Viergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
You know, the good thing is, in basically the whole world helping in building the starship, we can try to talk into their consciousness by saying, you know, all of the people who have worked to build this starship, of which we know you cannot take all of them with you, they earned a chance of survival, right? So let us try and go give chase after Meteon with it. So we are to rescue all, and not just some.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberk will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Are we gonna get an inspirational scene from all of the city-states?
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
We lots of muscle, we no healers. We pow pow pow.
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiencies so plain to see.
Yes.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
There you are! We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already...
I don't quite know how this...
That was a roar! A dragon's roar!
Resvelger. Go, go, go. I don't exactly know how this feels for people who have just binged all of Final Fantasy XIV in the last months. Meanwhile in Ruby Sea, just... I mean, for me, Heavensward is like, what, 5-6 years ago?
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honorable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid.
I guess the... What are the turtles called again? They for sure have some treasures, some relics in their possession. Yeah, those people.
Hmm? Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this is.
I don't remember the name of the race.
And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
That's... what's her name? His name? His name. I only just did this with Yomi like a week ago, I think. Or 1.5 weeks ago. Pit of Snakes or whatever the duty was called. What's going on? Quite a long face. Yes, Yomi, it was indeed me verbalizing a sigh to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because there's so much on Ethereus that you would like to see and no more time because of the final days? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data for Ethereus at Logisticon Alpha, that's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that? Yeah, they are. You should see the forest of the first. One was purple. Ah! Gasp, I say. With a star so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. Oh, no, you really have to be proud of. I mean, it's a marvel of technology. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard and achieving so little. Not at all. The works are no less worthy for their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Bankrat. How did stuff fare? Always able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here, despite news of the coming end. We have the forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried though, quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death, and we can hardly tell them there is no cause for concern. Perhaps not, though aided by our goodly growing way, we might yet find other ways to lighten the burden. Me? I'd be of use to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure that I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with him. It wasn't really what I was thinking about, but okay. This is as good a place as any. Come. Can I help you? We wondered if we would be able to assist you in something. It is you who would help me. Is my anxiety truly so obvious? A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray tell us of the troubles. Those little fellows still look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship, that it is the sum of decades of shoreline ingenuity, that it's built with peerless elegant technology, it's all true, but I know that none of that's a guarantee. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage, but even so, if it fails us, then what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the ether burner's design was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus dost thou hold the power to allay his fears. I'm not sure about that, but, well... Maybe you could tell me if there are any aspects of the ship's design that you're especially worried about. Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks, for one. I've devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell, to regulate the environment, but what if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we left the star? Ah, gravitation. Mayhap I can be of help after all. Up there is not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply, and if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate places. I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. And if Thancred's tale be true, still others would benefit from insight born of experience. Might I prevail upon the Labyrinthos to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is naught we'd like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Etheris, and learn more about them while we're at it. Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Yomido has the gift for finding souls in need of succor. No shit, Sherlock. Pray seek thee out the distressed and the apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them there, and I might introduce each to a suitable labyrinth. Yeah, sure, nothing better to do. Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every labyrinth and every labyrinth in their place.
So much in, well, in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
Twould behoove you to consult with Sleeping Way. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
Wow, that's assuring.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Etheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge. When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that, were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt.
Who are you talking about?
Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget...
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Yes, I am.
It's Moenbryda's parents, I guess.
Wilson and Blovida, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moenbryda's parents.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Blovida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
I'll say, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where.
What is going on? What are they doing?
Any idea how worried we were?
Why such a shocked face, Living Way?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Shut up. Who cares?
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will.
Exactly.
No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, Try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know. We always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
I do kind of wonder why, though. In a environment, in a society that values knowledge and scholarship as high as Shotlion, why would you laugh? Why would you bully anyone for being a nerd? Does rather sound strange.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while. Arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought.
Why would you call someone out for preferring to refine his knowledge in this society that strives for nothing else? It feels really strange.
But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better.
Of course, I see that it's just, you know, to give their connection more of a base, because it was really thin, so we always knew that they knew each other and that maybe they had a thing for each other, but it was never really elaborated a lot, right? So this is actually the first time, I think, we hear them talking about Moenbryda, except for, of course, when he said that he didn't visit the parents earlier in the expansion. Since basically her death in A Realm Reborn, right? I mean, her name sometimes came up, but like, remember Moenbryda and stuff like that. But it wasn't ever really elaborated, and now it's just like, maybe they're just tying up loose ends. Of course, maybe young Shawlions are just as different from their elders as it is in our world. Well, usually they aren't that different, actually. So, I do find it kind of strange that Urianger would be an outcast for preferring books over... I don't know. It's just... Yeah, that's stuff I think about. You see, that's a problem with me playing games and watching movies and stuff. I used to roleplay a lot, in World of Warcraft mainly. Not so much in Final Fantasy 14, and I'm not talking about clubbing at Friday night. I'm talking about actual roleplay. You know, where you have a character with a backstory that you act through with a scenario and stuff. And so I try to, you know, immerse myself in what the world would actually be for her. As for example, Aura don't have ears, they have horns. They are their hearing organs. How do Aura sleep? Do they have relatively hard pillows that they tend to rest the top of their head on, while their horns just act as an additional support on a mattress? Or don't they sleep on the side at all? How does it differ between the different types of horns? We have Aura with horns that go to the front, that make, for example, eating also really pretty hard. Others, like my Aura, have horns that go to the back, that go past the back of their head, so they cannot really sleep on their backs, right? Stuff like that I'm thinking about, and it really throws me off when then someone comes around, and it doesn't matter if this is another player who I'm interacting in roleplay with or whatever, or if it is just a character in the game itself, that strikes me as not being that interested in how this world would actually feel if you are actually that person, the character you're impersonating, living there. And just applying values and paradigms that we know from the real world and just assume that they should be active in this world as well. And that just really throws me off and breaks my immersion. It's just, I know this should be a sweet little moment, right? I just can't get over that little detail. I'm just like, would it really be like that? Why would that be like that? Sorry.
I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center
I guess
of the
I'm just
crowd.
making it worse.
The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together.
What about his parents, actually? Maybe there is like
no
his...
idea how proud we are.
They're like adoptive parents to him, maybe? Because it's true, sounds like it.
Boy, our daughter trusted and believed in more than anyone. Grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
Not sure if you've ever seen Urianger cry.
I think I can feel her too.
Okay.
The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
Living waste though. Ah, now she closed her mouth.
This Moenbryda. She was important to him, wasn't she?
Well, yeah, kinda.
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing.
Like yourself?
And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
I mean, he had to go to a different world to actually learn a lot about his life and himself, right?